The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, the Black Tea Party, featuring weekly discussions on political news and current affairs. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, the Black Tea Party.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most eventful beginning to Black Tea Party off camera that we've ever had. My name is Romo. I'm your host. You can follow me at Rome the Ruler on Twitter. Sitting to my left, Mr. Don Nash. How you doing today, man?
I'm good, man.
That's good.
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm really
That's
good.
good.
Whenever I'm next to Stacy and
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it me?
how do you like my voice, Stacy? Stacy's in the voices today.
It's his voices. His voices. What happened? That was something about a voice a long time ago. It was a bad story about a voice with a guy with her. I remember.
Oh yeah, she dated a dude that had like a weird voice.
He had that weird voice.
But today she heard a different
Morgan
kind
Freeman.
of voice.
It was different.
No, well, I did explain to the guys that I went on a date with a guy who had a terrible voice, and I felt really bad because I just didn't like the way he sounded. But
Like
we
helium
met.
sounded, or
Huh?
like helium, or
He just sounded like Mickey Mouse, yeah. And he was like 28, so I couldn't do it. But
Stacy
that's
Ike.
irrelevant.
One
gotta
take
get you
Stace,
to-
y'all.
That's irrelevant.
One
What
take
did you
Stace
say?
right
They
there.
can either get you with the voice or lose you with a voice, all right?
Let's move on. Hi, I'm Stacey. Great to see you here. Obviously, you see I'm surrounded by greatness.
And Mr. Michael Teemant.
what's up, guys? How you doing?
Gosh.
Throw him your Twitter handle. We're doing it at the top and the bottom now.
Cool. You guys can check me out at One Take Stacy on the show.
That Michael Teemant as it's spelled, because you're not gonna get it otherwise. So,
All right.
And I'm always at Don's Daily Dose.
Love it.
Oh, man. Okay. We're a little bit out of sorts, so we apologize today because we've all, I must admit, we've been messing with Stacy a little bit about her relationship issues, but we'll talk about that for the second half of the show.
We will not be talking about my relationships on air.
them.
Anyway.
All of them.
Have you guys noticed that all four of us are here? This
Yeah.
hasn't happened in 2015.
Yeah, has it
Again,
not?
This is nuts.
yeah,
Good
it
to
is
see
the
you
first
guys.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's back. Don's back.
Mike's back for Black History Month. It's great.
Yeah, he made his
My
appearance.
favorite month.
Right.
you.
Oh my
The
gosh.
quota has been met.
Yeah,
We appreciate
there
your
it is.
service. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, well, I want to jump straight into a topic that came up this week that I heard. It's not a new story, but it's an alarming stat that a lot of people don't really, I don't know if people don't put weight behind it or they just don't pay attention to it. But according to the U.S. Census projections that are going forward, well, I'll just put it to you like this. White people are going to shrink.
Yeah.
Hispanics are doubling, and black people are only going to jump 1% by 2050. So, what is it that this census projection is telling us about us?
Did you say Hispanics are only going to jump 1%?
No, Hispanics are jumping from 15% to
They are reproducing.
30%.
That is a stereotype.
and black
That's a
people
crazy
are only projected
number.
to jump from 14% to 15%. Well, 13 to 15.
Projections are stupid, for one. We'll start with that. I mean, I don't really believe that. I think all that
is that
information
bad,
is real. I don't know. Sometimes I felt bad for being that was a little aggressive for me to say, but I do kind of believe that. You support me?
Wait, what?
I think the projection of this is how much we're going to jump. I mean, it's just an estimate. You know
Well,
what I
yeah.
mean? So,
I mean, it's nothing to be upset about.
But it's based
Yeah.
on the census, right?
Yeah, it's based on
It's
the
a
U.S.
projection
Census.
based off of the last 10 years, I believe, and they see where everyone is, I guess, their reproduction rates, and then putting that into future tense is what that should mean. It's all stats.
Reproduction
It's all
rights.
It's all numbers.
Did you say reproduction rights?
No,
stats.
Stats.
Oh, stats.
Yeah.
Rights would be a problem.
Rights, no.
That would be a
But
problem.
it
No,
definitely
like-
sounds like the Hispanics are having more sex than everybody else,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Well, they're more
Procreating.
they're procreating more.
Right.
It's not that they're having more sex; they're not using condoms. They're not using birth control.
I
A lot
just
of that
set
has to do
you
with.
up. I set you up for that.
A lot of them, guess what? A lot of them are Catholic, and they don't believe in that stuff because of the Catholic Church. Let's be honest.
Right.
It is true.
Interesting.
There's
very
nothing.
true.
That's just what they believe. So
very
what
true.
are you going to get when you have a whole population not using birth control?
Right. And I also think that there's something to say about the African American community only going up by maybe 1% because I think we get scared of all the people we got to feed, so we stop having babies.
I think we just use condoms. I don't
think
feel
we use condoms. We use pull-out methods.
Okay, the pull-out is a myth, Don.
Oh my god!
I hate to break this to you.
That just happened.
True or untrue? I'm just saying.
Second me, please, Rome.
Did it work? Did it work for you, Don? As the only man here.
So no.
kids.
Oh my god.
But
I think there's a paranoia, don't you think?
There is a paranoia. We have the racial makeup, the pie graph right behind you, and I want to throw a shout out to the Pew Center who did this and decided not to put different colors.
Everyone's just a shade of blue.
Yeah, I don't know if they
the
just
darkest shade of blue. How is that?
So many places I could take that. But what that's telling me about the future political power of the United States. And I want to touch base to something that Stephen A. Smith alluded to earlier this week. And I want to get you guys' take on it. He said that we as black people have to stop just throwing our vote out there. The Democrats take us for granted, and the Republicans don't try because they know we're not going to vote for them anyway. Sure. The Hispanics are making people earn their vote. They listen to both sides. They always want to know, what do you have to say about immigration? What do you have to say about immigration? They want people to work for them, and they're using that to their advantage. That's why I believe there are going to be so many more Hispanics in Congress, in places of political power all around the nation. Do we as black people, are we the ones that dropped the ball on that? Are we the ones that are just, I'm going to vote Democrat, I'm going to vote left, just because that's what we do?
Wow.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. One, I think the Hispanics understand that there's strength in numbers, right? So whether or not it's the procreating a dynamic or not, the more we have, the more we vote, the more impact and influence we'll have over political issues. I think that when it comes to us as African Americans, and I can't speak for all of us, but I think that we don't trust the political system. And I think it was, throughout the civil rights movement in the early days when we were not allowed to vote, I think all of that's embedded in our attitudinal disposition to not really cast a vote. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to get us to do it. I mean, I think we saw record numbers when Barack Obama, first ran, but then we saw that decline when he came out the second time.
Or even the midterms. The midterms, I mean, they did come out again for the second time more than they did the midterms, and that's part of the problem, though. Me and Stacy were talking about it a little earlier, and the Latinos, they go out and they vote
during
you get ignored when you become a group that isn't. This is so bad. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't go and vote, if you don't go vote.
You don't get heard.
Fine. You don't want to participate, then we're going to ignore you.
But, okay, can I play devil's advocate to Don's point about how that, our original history has made us, not feel like it's our time ever to vote or to cast a vote. Yeah. I refuse to believe that. Because, maybe for me, since I've...
But I agree with him. I
don't like that. I don't like to think that. I think it's a huge generalization, for one, and I understand the fact that there are a lot of black people who are Democrats for sure, but also there are some black people that are Republicans, and it's so funny because when we all found out that Nicki Minaj was a Republican, everyone went crazy.
What?
She was black. Yeah, she
you just made Mike's day.
She voted Republican, and I was like,
and people, don't.
You know what I mean? Like she didn't want it. Her and kind of didn't want it, and I just. People went crazy, and I'm like, why are you going crazy? Mm-hmm. That's the problem, because for the black people who decided, like, I'm a Republican, which you can make that decision whether you on your own. That has nothing to do with you being black. It's whatever opinions you agree with or whatever side you want to be on.
Exactly.
But
you're also speaking to another subculture of the black community.
Yeah.
In terms of
even blacks that vote Republican, it's still a minority of the black community.
It is.
So I don't want to make a general statement and say all of us. That doesn't even represent me, but I know the school of thought is that there is a suspicion, there's a lack of trust in the political system, and even in voting. I mean, I think that's an underpining theme.
Well, they're the ones voting, by the way, are the black Republicans, are the ones who always go out. So why would the Republicans even bother if they're just going to vote along with them?
Don't you think it has something to do with socioeconomic status versus race. Like it
Oh,
could,
absolutely.
in terms, like I mean, obviously in parallel, but it could be there might be more black people that are poor and they don't have the access.
Well, you definitely have that dynamic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say I prefer that dynamic, but I understand that dynamic more than they are just not really used to having that right and they're really over it and they don't want to take on. I don't want to see that because in my head, since I became aware of what politics is, was around when Clinton was Clinton. And Clinton, the black people was popping. I remember it. I remember how my parents reacted. I remember how the church reacted. I remember how my friends, white, black, yellow, green, everyone was for him, at least in my world. And then we went to the Bush administration and then there was a different, set of tones and conversations, but I don't want to feel like they were uninvolved. I feel like that was a time of distrust and not necessarily directly to Bush, but there was a. But why would that? I just feel
the problem is when your guy's in, you can't just be part of it. In when he's out, you still have to be part of the conversation.
I can understand. I just think it's more of a way versus like there's been this like constant distrust for many, 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 many years. I don't want to see that. I want to believe that it has been a wave. Unfortunately, it's kind of the guy that rocks with us, the guy who says what we want to hear or whatever.
It's lip service.
Yeah.
It's lip service.
I feel like Clinton and Obama had that in common. At least, I don't remember much before that because I wasn't really, whatever. But
and what's that they have in common? That they say whatever we want to hear?
No, I don't want to say they have the charisma that pulls anyone aside. That was for me as a kid, remembering what I saw in Clinton and then what I saw in what I saw in Obama and why I was so young, but I was so enthused about him. I don't know why. He just had this spunk and this fun that has nothing to do with necessarily running a country, but it's a part of it.
Yeah.
We are change and it's a part of it. All of that plays a part into how people see you and how people gain your trust.
Right.
So I don't know. That's just me.
Okay, so let me throw this out there then. Should we start making, regardless of charisma, regardless of how much swag a guy has,
right, exactly, not swag.
Yeah, when he's at the microphone stand or anything like that, should we then hold them more accountable to our needs, to our community, as opposed to you threw out Clinton and Obama. Clinton had a phenomenal set of circumstances to work with, which is why I still consider him the greatest of the American presidents so far, because he had the internet fall at it in his lap. And with that, you had a GDP expansion that you can't even really, it was stupid. But with Obama, yes, he's fought for a lot of things, not necessarily just for the African American community. He fought for a lot of things for the poor community, for just middle class, a lot of things in general. Yeah. But are there things, because we're 14% of the country, and I hate to bring this back to race, but if we were to vote as a full racial group, do we need to put more pressure on the politicians to serve us?
What does that look like?
I think voting.
What it looks like is the voting voting rights act.
The first thing is you got to vote.
You got to vote.
Yeah.
I think that's where you apply
because pressure created the Voting Rights Act that of '64. That's what that was. That was pressure. That was King. That was X. That was the black community.
Because I think that
and the white community.
I think sometimes, and I want to be careful when I say this, the way we as a black community apply pressure is that we rally, we march, we do things sometimes that are just a little bit uncivil. Yeah. Uncivilized, I should say. But I don't know whether or not collectively as a group of people we've learned that we could apply pressure through a vote.
I agree, and I think it comes back to what you I hear a lot of people talk about in the black community, friends of mine who are very distrustful. They don't even think their vote matters, so why do it? Things like that. So why would you got to get over this? It's convincing even those people, okay, even if you think that this is the case, you need to vote.
You still need to go out.
You need to go vote. Everyone needs to vote. And when that gets across, I think some of those changes will come around. Because what will happen is if they notice that the African American community is voting more, they're going to ask African American community what they want. Both Republicans and Democrats. At that point, that's when they have to listen.
But what happens when they don't do anything and they still get the vote?
Wait, say that again?
That's the question. What happens when they ask you what you need, what you want, what do you wish to see happen, and it doesn't happen?
You keep voting.
But the vote keeps going their way.
There isn't. White people are Republicans.
Look what the Tea Party did.
Not necessarily, just opposition. I'm not speaking
in. What the Tea Party did. You got I think there needs to be an opposite of the Democratic Party. I've always hoped it was going to be the Green Party. Yeah. It hasn't been. But I wish there was a Tea Party like the Republicans. The Tea Party does hold the Republicans accountable to their voters.
Yeah, they do.
And they were a whole crop. That's what needs to happen is we need to get our own leaders for another party and go, fine, if you're not going to do what we want you to do, now we're going to vote for this guy. And we need to stop being scared of this whole, well, if you vote for a third party, then nothing's going to change. No, nothing's going to change because you're voting for two parties and they are all in cahoots with each other.
Yeah, they're working with each other.
I think there's when you look at the African American community, I think it's so subdivided that it's hard to pull the masses in because the conversation you're having right now, Pookie and them ain't having that conversation.
But why can't it be a little divided? We're not all the same just because we're all black.
I get
White people are not having this conversation.
But we're not talking about. We're not talking about a subculture pulling and making a movement. We're talking about African Americans in totality, moving collective as a unit.
Yeah, but the Latinos have done that. That's my point is you guys could do that. And the Latinos, you're right, they vote both sides.
I love
it. There are very Republican Latinos. I know them personally.
I know
and there's very Democratic ones.
I know them too.
Voting's what's important.
What about
and the
Asian
reason
people?
Immigration gets brought up, which is what they all care about, is because both of them are voting.
What about
if
Asian
they weren't
people?
both voting?
Because immigration is something that appeals to the multiplicity of levels in the Hispanic community. It doesn't make a difference whether or not you're at the bottom of the barrel or whether or not you're on the top of the pole. You're concerned about immigration.
Okay, but
we don't have the same go through in the African American community.
Right.
Well, no. But that gets brought up because they're all voting. Is my point. It's not even that issue.
But they're all voting because the issue is relevant to everyone.
No, not just immigration though. It's not just.
Are you kidding that immigration is not relevant across the board?
It is. No. You're okay. I think we're off base.
Okay.
I'm saying the reason immigration is a policy that we're all talking about is because they're voting. All of them are voting, so therefore we're looking at their issue.
Absolutely.
So if you guys start voting, they're going to start looking and asking what issues.
But I'm saying that they are voting because of their issue.
I don't think they're voting because of their issue.
You don't
they're
think
voting
so?
because they believe in the Democratic.
Yeah,
they believe in the
principle.
Democratic. They're very happy.
You think it's principle and not their issue?
I don't know that I'm debating. I'm actually, as I listen to you guys, I'm debating that in my head.
I'm not sure now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
I'll tell you, if we still had a slave issue, we'd all be voting. It didn't make a difference what shade of black we were. We'd all be voting because it's a slave issue.
Right.
And I think that if you have a discrimination issue in the Hispanic or Latino community, and you have the higher economic, social class, they're concerned about pulling the other ones up because that's mama. That's
exactly.
Poppy.
It happened in the gay community. I'm telling you, I'm totally with you.
Right.
But those issues don't even need to be discovered until they start looking at you guys as a voting bloc. We have to look at the African American community as, we need to curtail their vote instead of looking at them as, well, they're going to vote either Democrat or Republican. That's the way they think of it right now.
Okay, let me
low turnout.
Let me throw something to you on that because I know somewhere someone is listening to this screaming, well, what about all the socioeconomic reasons that black people can't vote? The reason that our vote is suppressed.
Voter suppression. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge issue right now.
It is a big issue. So, is it the greater issue? I don't know.
See, that's what I was.
That's what I'm about to lean toward.
Because
I've been in so many, and this argument always comes down whenever you're talking about race and black people in America. It always falls down to personal responsibility. If you can look at it that way, or you can also look at it as, well, the system skewed against us in the first place. So regardless of how much personal responsibility we have, we're still not going to get ahead.
So you mean I'm going to die not ahead? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying those are the two arguments.
That's what a lot of people said before Martin Luther King came around.
It depends on what you identify with.
Everything.
Yeah.
It depends on what you identify with. I mean, you got to determine whether or not you're still fighting through slavery or whether or not you're building something different. Whether or not you're fighting through the civil rights movement or whether or not you're building something different. And if you look at it from I'm fighting, then you will always be fighting. If you look at it I'm building, then you're building something and you're moving forward.
Here's an issue I think the African American community would really benefit from, and that's free education for all. Like Obama, thank you for the 2 years. That's great.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I want free education. Argentina does it. Germany does it. Japan does it. All these countries do it. England does it. And they've seen nothing but production in their countries because of this.
But
so that's something that literally then we can go, you know what? if you work hard in high school, you're gonna go to college, and it's guaranteed paid for. And we take this whole socioeconomic thing out and actually let the African American community pull themselves up. That's what the Republicans are always talking about. Hey, get an education.
Yeah.
Here's the education.
Yeah, but
And that's the catch they don't want to give that.
That's one issue right there
Yeah.
we can push.
But education is not going to eradicate the spiritual, the mental, and emotional anguish that's passed through the bloodline of the African American community.
No, you're right.
That's not what it does. And I mean, if America really wanted to become responsible for, the melting pot, I think we'd look at all of our disenfranchised groups and figure out what
There's
can
so
we do as
many
America
races, yeah.
to help
Yeah.
restore people so that they can have American pride, they can live the American dream, each and every one having an equal opportunity.
No, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
There's a thing that would definitely benefit a community like the African American community who has lower socioeconomic status by giving them free education.
It's
That is
not just. We always.
I'm
have
saying. I'm just using this as an example.
I know. I completely. But I was,
There's an issue that you guys could ride and actually bring to the forefront, like immigration.
Okay.
I don't have.
Like immigration.
Like, give me other issues. I don't
I
care.
get what
I'm-
you're saying, and I get what you're saying, and fused together, it's really almost the same thing. But it just, sometimes we have these conversations about race and where it equals in people's statuses. I always think, okay, so we black, white, and then Hispanic, and then what about like the other people, like the other many thousands other races, Indian, Asian, Filipino. I mean, let's get specific.
another
whatever.
thing, yeah.
So where are they voting? I mean, I don't know what the census says on.
Well, the Native Americans are chilling
Native
at the
Americans,
casinos.
yeah. What?
The Alaskan natives, well, I don't know what they're doing, but their levels are expected to stay the same too. I mean, that's
See, that's the thing. It's
Their
just-
levels are expected to stay the same because they don't fall on our chart.
Yeah.
They're so
They're in
insignificant
small.
in terms of
They
numbers.
also have low
in
number
quotes.
families. They have like
Yeah.
2-3 kids.
But it
and
doesn't
stuff,
make
too.
them insignificant, though.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. But
I agree.
it's easier to handle the masses, figure out this before you even get to. And sometimes not even easier. It's just. No, I'll go with easier. I'll stick with easier because that is why I feel like we just have a repetitive, not we, but people. We have a very repetitive black-white conversation, and I'm like, how can we settle on those two races when there's so many
Yeah.
other people to talk about?
Power in
and I would
numbers.
love to bring them in and figure out where are they voting. I would love to. I don't even know.
You notice no one cared about the Hispanic vote until we realized, oh no, they're going to take Texas. They're going to take California. They're going to take Florida.
When they became a threat.
Yeah, that's
became a
when. Oh, here's a chair at the table.
I can't
Sit
wait
down.
till
Let's
one of
talk.
them get in office.
Oh yeah, because it's
for
coming.
real.
gonna
Wow,
happen.
we
It's
should have-
coming.
Do it.
We should
Yeah.
have a Hispanic president. I would.
I think we're going to see a Hispanic president long before we see another black president.
You think so?
I believe so. I believe so. For one, just the number. Oh, he's out
ruin
there
my
somewhere.
dream.
There was someone that was on the line to come in. Who was he? A couple of years ago, he spoke at the Republican National
Are you
Convention.
talking about Rubio?
I think it was Rubio.
Yeah, you're talking about Marco
No,
Rubio.
he's
Yeah,
not looking
He's
good
not
right
gonna.
now.
He's
Yeah.
not. He's
Can I
not.
ask you guys an interesting question? So
Rubio.
you saw
Yeah.
how when President Obama was president, his effect trickled down to every single minority, including Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get a Hispanic president, do you think it'll trickle down the same way? Like black people will be like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening for us," or we're not going to react the same way?
I think we hope so.
And that opens up that's a
you
new
see where I'm going
can
with
because
that? You see where I'm going with
that's
that?
the one thing that I believe a lot of conservatives have a true issue with when they see the Hispanic culture. They seem to be tied to two different countries, and it's the country they came from and America. And when you're here and you're in our political system, you gotta pick. You better be America or bust. And if you're not down for us, because then if there was a Hispanic president, he can't over acknowledge Mexican Independence Day. That can't happen.
Yeah.
So
can't.
yeah, at all. And you can't be a servant of two masters. So I'm wondering exactly how that's going to play out. Do I believe we'll have a Hispanic president? Yes.
I think it'll be a Republican before a Democrat.
Wow.
It would have to be,
That's an
actually.
interesting.
Because Marco Rubio got the reason he is still a darling of the Republican Party is because he is Hispanic,
Yeah.
but he is also anti-immigration through
Yeah.
the roof.
Because
He makes white people that are racist look
Yeah.
okay. Like that's how he wants a freaking wall there. He does not want anybody getting in,
The thing
and that's why they will.
The thing that troubles
tote him
me
up.
about this immigration argument is that it would be one thing if they were trying to make all Americans Americans.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even with building walls and with these immigration laws and all this chaos that's going on right
just
now,
make it easy for them to work here. They want the
why
jobs
can't I just
we
be
don't
an
want to
American?
do.
Why do I have to be a black American? Why do you have to be this American, that American?
Because
I think that further perpetuates kind of this disenfranchised disposition that even black Americans have. I mean, you talk about the Latino community; they have to choose where they from. We can't choose. We just have no home
because we don't know.
A black American individual has no home because they're told they don't belong to Africa, right?
Which is really annoying.
And then you're being told that you don't belong to America. You can't call American. So where's your home? And I think that has a lot to do with the pride, the self-esteem, and the identity that one has while coexisting in the American land. It's just my thought.
Black History Month.
There you go.
Black History Month reflection.
Yeah. I'm like, all right.
Carol Elizabeth Moseley Braun, the first black. Well, should I say black or African American? Does it even matter? The first sister in the Senate.
So gorgeous, so fabulous.
And she's got a feather.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
she got a feather, right? She got one when she took the rollers on and just.
Now when I picked her, outside of her being a senator from Illinois, I picked her for you, Stace, because I wanted to hear.
That's funny.
If you would have anything to say about Carol Moseley Braun, or it's kind of hard to say who I would prefer between her and what was the senator from California? Not Boxer, but I forgot her name. It's slipping my. You got it on the tip of your tongue, don't you? I know it. Well, I'll figure that out.
Tweet it out.
Yeah, we'll get that later.
That's a shame.
So
I'm terrible with that right now.
I cannot remember right now, and it's killing me because I can't. But so we'll move on to our last topic real quick. We're looking for a man for Stace.
Yeah, we are desperately looking.
You guys
inbox me, Don's Daily Dose. I'm doing all the evaluations. I've got to make sure he's cleared, right?
You got to be 6'5". If you're not at least 6'5", don't even.
He got to be long suffering.
He's keeping my cheery host face on.
Don't have to have.
They will get it after the show.
She's not money hungry. You ain't got to worry about money. She ain't a gold digger.
And we need to do this by February 28th.
February 28th.
Black
Quick,
History
guys.
Month gift.
Quick.
It's a social responsibility that you get, man.
Consider us like your personal Steve Harvey show.
Oh my God, these two cannot allow me to live my life. They feel like something's wrong with me because I'm not in a relationship. So, with that said, you guys can take it. What kind of life is
she living? She ain't got no man. What kind of life you living?
I'm chilling. I'm living life.
Look at you.
Oh my God, I'm sips tea.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
One take Stace. Will someone please take one take Stace?
Sips tea, people.
She works hard. She gonna make millions.
Alexis, wrap this up.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I got it.
Producer, get on it. She's my girl.
Mike,
get on it.
Mike, where can people reach out and talk to you at?
At Michael Teemant, MIHKELTEEMANT, and MichaelTeemant.com.
Mike is the only friend I have on this panel. Just best believe it.
We love you, Stace.
I'm just enjoying it.
Oh my God, of course you. Oh my God. You guys can check me out throughout the week on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace, also at Match.com, apparently.
I wouldn't put her on Match.com.
They've already signed me up to it, so.
But I'm Don at Don's Daily Dose, and if you want to hook up with Stacy, just hit me, brother. I got the hookup. I'm sitting right next to this tall glass of chocolate.
Don,
go and smile for the people, baby. Smile.
No.
Vanna Black.
Public, I wish you guys could hear our conversations off the air. They are amazing. We're going to put up a paywall one day
right now
and just let people listen to the real conversations that we have. My name is Rome, or find me on Twitter at Rome the Ruler. I was about to say I am Rome the Ruler. You can find me at Rome the Ruler on Twitter. Empire of Rome on Instagram. Oh man, this has been the craziest ending to Black Tea Party on Black Hollywood Live. It's my fault, Stace. I'll take it. It's
I'm
cool.
over those two.
Girl, you fine. We're gonna get you a man.
Ain't she fine?
Bye, y'all.
Had
Bye.
I known this on
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
I'm done with you.
Good quality candidate.
Views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.